Hi, welcome back. Sophie here, and today I'm going to share with you a 20-minute flow focused on standing balances. If you're following along with our 20-minute for 20-day challenge, this is day number 13 and it's called Wave Dancer. Now we're going to start today's class in a child's pose, so taking the knees out as wide as your mat, let those toes touch. And just before we get down there, if you're following along with the playlist, we're going to hit play together in 3, 2, 1. So knees nice and wide, softening chest towards the earth. We're going to reach those fingertips forward. And your head finds the ground here. As you begin to just arrive on your mat. Beginning to tune into the body, into the breath. Perhaps feeling that belly rise and fall between those thighs. And as you arrive here, just checking in with yourself, really noticing how you're feeling today. Perhaps you've arrived on your mat with a sense of freshness, a sense of joy, or maybe you're feeling a little slow, maybe you're feeling a little foggy. Really trying to root down into whatever is there for you. And just reminding yourself that whatever is there doesn't have to define this practice. It doesn't have to define the rest of your day or evening. Today we're just going to allow the breath to guide us as we flow through this free and flowing practice. So don't worry if you fall, don't worry if you wobble, just leaning into any movements that arrive. An option to work with the mantra, I am open and I am free. Softly repeating that to yourself a few times. Perhaps beginning to engage your Ujjayi breath now, breathing in and out through the nose, finding that oceanic sound, that gentle restriction at the back of the throat. We're then going to gently lift our head, slide our hands underneath our shoulders, rock up to a wide-legged tabletop position. Now we're going to take a wide-legged cat-cow today, which is my favorite kind of cat-cow. It's super fluid, super opening. So when you inhale, curve the spine, lift the chest and lengthen. And then on the exhale, round the back body, sit all the way back to the heels. Inhale, lift the chest, lengthen, open through the heart space. And then exhale to round. 2 more times in your own breath. Inhale, we lift and lengthen. Exhale, round the spine. Final time, you lift, you open through that heart center, curve the spine, exhale, feel that space between the shoulder blades expand. Coming back to a regular tabletop position now, shoulders in line with wrists, hips over knees. Together we're going to inhale, extend that right leg, just rocking backwards and forwards here, finding a gentle little stretch into that right calf. Together we inhale to prepare, exhale, kickstand left calf. Sweep right arm up and over as you come to find your gate pose. Gazing towards those lifted fingertips, pressing into the outer edge of that standing leg. Inhale here. Exhale, engage those obliques as you rise up onto that left knee. On your exhale, come over to find a side stretch over to the right hand side. So we're going to take a little wave here as if you're moving through honey. Inhale, we lift and lengthen. Exhale, left hand lands on the earth, right arm up and over. Inhale, we rise. And exhale to release. Final time we lift. This time left hand on the earth, right arm rises high. Maybe lift that right leg. Option to stay here, really working into that core. Or maybe bring that right hand to the right foot. Kick the foot into the hand as you open through the hips, through the heart space. Deep inhale here. Exhale, can you release the bind? Come to spin to face the front of your mat and step that right foot to the outside of the right hand. Option to keep that back knee down, or maybe you want to tuck back toes, lift back knee, and take some little circles in this active lizard lunge. So really working on opening out into those hips, finding that fluidity, that movement. Deep breath here, we inhale. Exhale, lower that back knee down, untuck back toes, finding a more static lizard lunge now. Option to stay here, option to lower down onto the forearms, or maybe you want to come into a little heart opener, stretching those right fingertips forward, up and back, maybe catching back toes. Deep breath here, we inhale. Exhale, release the bind. Right hand lands inside right foot. And then we're just going to slide that right leg back so the knee comes underneath the hip. Take a little cat-cow, reset the spine. Coming over to the opposite side. So inhale, extend that left leg. Find that gentle little calf stretch as you begin to rock backwards and forwards here. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, kickstand, right calf this time. Sweep left arm up and over, gaze towards those lifted fingertips in our gate pose. So remembering to press into the outer edge of that planted foot. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, we lift, engage those obliques. Rise onto that right knee. And then take that little side stretch towards the back of the mat. As if we're moving through honey. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, right hand on the earth. Sweep the left arm up and over. Inhale, we lift and lengthen, neck is long. Exhale, take that side stretch. Maybe even closing down the eyes here, feeling into that movement. Final time we lift and lengthen, this time right hand on the earth. Left arm rises high, maybe float that left leg, engaging the core. Maybe you want to find that bind again, left hand to left foot, kicking the left foot into the hand, opening through the heart space, through the hips. Deep inhale here. Exhale, release the bind. Come to face the front. We're going to step that left foot outside the left hand. Tuck back toes, lift back knee. Find that little active lizard lunge, really taking those nice big circles. Softening into some knee space. Deep breath here. We inhale. Exhale, lower that back knee down, untuck the back toes. Option to stay here in that static lizard lunge, or maybe taking it down onto the forearms. Finding that option, that modification that suits your body best. If you're coming with me and you went there on the opposite side, we're stretching left fingertips forward, up and back, maybe catching those back toes. Deep breath here, we inhale. Exhale, release the bind, left hand inside left foot, and then slide that left knee back underneath the left hip. Little cat-cow to reset the spine. And then together we're going to tuck the toes. Send the tailbone nice and high, come to our first downward facing. Maybe pedaling out through the feet here, softening through the shoulders. Taking 3 deep breaths in that downward facing as you root the heels towards the earth. Send that tailbone nice and high. On your next inhale, right leg rises high to the sky. Exhale, step or guide the foot between the hands. Press down to lift up, rise, high crescent lunge. Deep breath here, we inhale. Exhale, peel open, warrior 2. Together, we're going to straighten that front leg as we inhale. Exhale, reach forward. Come into tilt in your Trikonasana, your triangle pose. Dialing the heart space towards the sky as you look towards those lifted fingertips. Deep breath here, we inhale. Exhale, gaze down towards those right toes. Deep bend in the right knee. We're going to reach forward to find the floor as we find our half moon. So if you have a block here, maybe placing a block underneath that right hand, opening through the hips and the heart space. Now you can either stay here, maybe you catch a bind, bringing the left hand to the left ankle and really opening out through the hips and the heart space again. Breathing here, we inhale. Exhale, release the bind with control. Can you square those hips? Reach those right fingertips off the earth. Come to find a warrior 3, Virabhadrasana 3. So lots of work into that standing leg. Don't worry if you wobble here. Deep inhale. Exhale, root to rise. Press down to lift up. Squeezing that left knee in towards the chest. And then exhale, we're going to slide that left knee to meet the right. Left hand to left ankle. Inhale to lift and lengthen. Exhale, coming into our dancer now. So again, kicking the foot into the hand. Finding your drishti, your focal point, to help you maintain that balance. Deep inhale. Exhale, take a huge step back with control. Can you arrive in that high crescent lunge? Inhaling here. Exhale, frame the front foot. We're going to move through a vinyasa, so stepping back to a high plank, shifting the weight forward. Maybe exhale, knees, chest, chin on the first round. Inhale to roll the shoulders, lift the chest, baby cobra. And then exhale, roll all the way back over those knees. Tuck the toes, send the tailbone nice and high, downward facing. Left side we go. Inhale, left leg rises. On your exhale, step or guide the foot between the hands. We're going to press down to lift up. Come back to that high crescent lunge. So all 10 toes facing forward. We take a deep inhale. Exhale, peel open, warrior two. This time straightening that front leg. We're going to send that left hand forward as we draw the hips towards the back of the room. And exhale to tilt in that trikonasana. Breathing here, we inhale. Exhale to arrive. On your next inhale, gaze down towards those left toes. Deep bend in the left knee, reach forward to find the earth or your block. Opening up into that half moon. Again, option to stay here or play with a balance or bind. Maybe bending that left knee, taking right hand to right ankle, opening out through the heart space. Really kicking the foot into the hand here, finding a drishti, a focal point. You can either challenge yourself, taking the gaze up towards the sky here, or gaze down towards the earth. Deep inhale. Exhale, can you release the bind, and with control, square those hips, maybe bend that standing leg. As hands come to heart center, Virabhadrasana 3, warrior 3. So really powering up through that left leg, we inhale. Exhale, root to rise, squeeze that right knee up and in towards the chest, find that focal point. Don't worry if you wobble. And then slide that right knee next to the left. We're going to bring our right hand to our right ankle. Inhale to lift, to rise and lengthen. And then exhale, we're coming into that dancer. So you might notice one side feels a little bit more wobbly than the other. This side is definitely a little bit more wobbly for me. Keeping that neck long as you kick the foot into the hand. Deep inhale here. Exhale, take a huge step back with control. Can you arrive in that higher crescent lunge? And then exhale, come to frame that front foot, stepping back and moving through a flow. So maybe high to low plank this time. Inhale to upward facing as you open through the heart space. Exhale, downward facing dog. Taking 3 breaths here in our downward facing. Softening through the shoulders, tailbone nice and high. Final inhale. On your exhale, you're going to ripple all the way forward to your high plank. Once again, take a deep inhale through the nose. And then exhale, lower down, wrap those elbows in for the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come to lie down in your belly. Maybe bring the forehead to the hands for a moment. Wiggle those hips from side to side. We're going to use this time to really open out into the chest, the heart center. So taking our fingers into little tent positions on the outer edge of the mat. Forehead to the earth. Separate the feet as wide as your mat as you press the tops of the feet into the earth. On your inhale, press down to lift up through the center of the spine. The head arrives last as you ripple up vertebrae by vertebrae. When you get there, engage those glutes. Exhale, ripple all the way down like a wave. Inhale, we lift and lengthen, open through the chest. And then exhale to release. 2 more times. Inhale, finding softness here as you lift and lengthen. Exhale to release. Final time we lift and lengthen. This time on your exhale, dip that right shoulder. It's a pretty awkward movement. We're going to take some circles into that right shoulder. So really massaging through the neck, through the upper body here. And you may notice it's quite difficult to isolate that joint, so don't worry about how it looks. Maybe closing the eyes, just noticing how it feels. Final inhale, rise through center. Exhale, come onto the opposite side, taking those lovely deep circles into that left shoulder. Massaging the space down the side of the neck, the upper back. Final inhale, lift and lengthen. And then exhale to release, hands come underneath the shoulders. We're going to roll all the way up and back through our tabletop position. And then we're going to tuck the toes. Send the tailbone nice and high, come into your downward facing dog. Let's take a moment to catch your breath here to reset. Inhale, rise that right leg high towards the sky. Exhale, step or guide the foot between the hands. We're going to lower that back knee down, untuck the back toes, press down to lift up. Anjaneyasana, low lunge. So lifting up and out of those hips, take a little back bend here. Engaging those glutes as you press down through the right foot. Inhale. Exhale, come to frame that front foot. Maybe shuffling right toes forward ever so slightly. Maybe hands come to the hips as you exhale, peel back into a half split. Now, if you've got a little bit more room in those hamstrings, maybe fingertips to the earth, but don't worry if you want to keep those hands to your hips. As if we're moving through honey, we're going to take some waves here. So inhale, we lift and lengthen, open through the chest, the back body. And then exhale, flip the palms, send them towards the back of the room, forward fold. 2 more times. Inhale, we lift and lengthen. And then exhale to release. Final time, we lift and lengthen, open through that chest. And then exhale, come to frame that front foot. Option to step back to a downward facing or move through a little vinyasa to reset the body. Eventually, we exhale, moving back to our downward facing. Wiggling the tailbone a little, rooting the heels towards the earth. Last little bit. On your next exhale, inhale, left leg rises high. Exhale, step or guide the foot between the hands. Lower that back knee down, untuck back toes. We're going to press down to lift up, Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Again, lifting up and out of those hips. Take a little back bend as you engage those glutes, root down through that left foot. Inhale here. Exhale, come to frame that front foot, maybe sliding left toes forward ever so slightly. On your next exhale, come to find that half split. Again, as if you're moving through warm water, through honey, we'll take those waves. Inhale to lift and lengthen. Exhale to release. Inhale, we lift and lengthen. Exhale, let it go. Final time, we lift and lengthen, neck is long. And then exhale, let it all go. And this time, patting the hands forward to frame that front foot, tuck back toes, lift back knee. Optional final vinyasa, high to low plank, or knees, chest, chin. Opening out through the chest before we all meet back in our final downward facing dog. Taking a deep clearing breath here in through the nose. And really sigh it out through the mouth. On your next inhale, gaze forward. And to the exhale, take a little step, jump, or float to a seated position at the top of your mat. We're going to take one hand to each knee, crack open that heart space. As we lift and lengthen, neck is long. Exhale, lower all the way down to lie on our backs. When you arrive, just ensuring you can tickle those heels with your fingertips. We're going to move through 2 rounds of bridge. Now we've done quite a lot of heart, chest opening, so our back body should be feeling nice and open. So if you know where you're going even, and you want to go straight to a full wheel, the option is there. Also, if you have some blocks, an option for a restorative bridge, taking the block underneath your sacrum is always there for you too. If you're coming with me, we're going to press our hands down either side of our hips. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, peel the tailbone off the earth. Move vertebrae by vertebrae as you lift those hips high. Option to stay here. Option to interlace those hands behind the back body, snuggling those shoulder blades together as you open through that heart center. Taking 3 deep breaths here. Final inhale. On your exhale, release the bind, lower all the way down to your back. Maybe give those hips a little wiggle, reset the spine. Now option to take that same variation again, or if you're going for that full wheel, maybe hands to the tops of those shoulders, squeeze those elbows in. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, press down to lift up, opening through the heart space. Maybe you walk those feet in a little. Lifting up nice and high as you open through the front of the body. Feeling that delicious, energizing curve through the spine. And taking 3 deep breaths here. When you're ready, tucking chin towards the chest, lowering down safely, coming out of whichever variation you took. Maybe you took that restorative variation, so removing that block. When you get down, taking hold of opposite elbows on the floor behind your head, just windshield, wiping those knees from side to side. Taking any final movements you may need, maybe a little twist, maybe a happy baby. Finding a bit of fluidity in those last few moments. As you come back to that little mantra of I am open and I'm free. When you've taken whatever you may need today, we're going to come all the way down to lie on our backs. Lifting the shoulder blades off the earth, shuffling them a little further down so you can find some space in the spine. Allowing your body to be supported by the earth. As we allow all the benefits of our practice together sink in. When you're ready, we're going to slowly wiggle our fingers, wiggle our toes. Maybe take some small circles into the ankles, the wrists. Eventually, maybe releasing a sigh, a yawn. Taking a full body stretch from the fingertips all the way down to those toes. And then tuck those knees in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around, give yourself a nice big hug. Rolling onto whichever side feels most appropriate for you. Maybe just spending 1 or 2 moments in that fetal position to notice anything that shifted. And when you're ready, coming to find a seated position at the top of our mat. Closing the practice with one final clearing and collective breath. We're going to inhale, rise those arms high towards the sky. Lightly touch the palms, and then exhale, draw everything into your heart center, thanking your body for everything it did for you today. But most importantly, thanking yourself for showing up, for moving with kindness, with ease, with fluidity, to be open and to be free. Together we rise thumbs to third eye, bow chin towards the chest, always in gratitude and always in peace. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time.